Join me as I create this beautiful soft floral wreath. I'm going to be using some IOD products in surprising ways, including just the lavender portion of Painterly Florals and IOD inks used as a paint to create a very soft watercolor look. This is about a 20 by 20 board. This is just a plywood framed board that JR built, and I have painted it with a chalk-based paint. In my own personal experience, the inks work the best on a chalk style paint. There's something about, like, the inks just kind of soak right in, and they just maintain their crispness. We want to give them a really good shake, because if they're sitting for a while, they will separate. This is my ink pad, and I just want to fill it. Just make sure that that's all in there. The IOD Barnwood Plank stamp is going to give me a really wonderful texture to lay down behind my wreath. When I'm using Barnwood planks, I always start with the one that has the ridges on it. See this? It has a defining ridge there. And I would like to keep mine really subtle in the background. To keep that soft, subtle background, I'm using stone gray ink. I want to get a line going so that I have a guideline. And I'm using a very light touch because I want this to be super light and faded kind of in the background. And there's enough ink in there to finish off. I do have some gaps. That's okay. If you look at regular old barnwood, you're gonna see the same thing. Another one of the plank textures. So like if I was using this ink over, say, a paint that has a built-in top coat, it would take quite a while to dry. So you do wanna be aware of that. See what a light touch I did? I'm gonna use this guy here. And then I'm going to go the opposite way, and then look, it kind of leaves me a little bit of a space here that if I want to put a knot. This is one of the separators. You can take a baby wipe and you can wipe over this. I love to take these and kind of like here, see where I have this line here? I can take that baby wipe now and I can maybe soften that so it doesn't look quite so obvious. If you find, oh, it's a little dark there, let it dry for a little bit and then take the baby wipe to it. If it's too wet when you do it, it's gonna smear. The Iron Orchid Design inks are beautiful, pigment-rich, permanent ink. For this project, I'll be using the inks as a watercolor, painting them on with a paintbrush. I wanted to create a very subtle kind of a background here, and I was thinking I wanted something kind of eucalyptus-y. I'll use the colors New Grass. I have China Blue. I have Oceans Deep. And I also have Mixing White. So I'm going to start with a new palette. This is just a clear acrylic something that I got somewhere. Like pouring out a little bit of my ink. That's Oceans Deep.
China Blue.
China Blue. And this one is Mixing White. And I might even pull out a little touch of Stone Gray. I'm going to put that up here in the corner so it doesn't make it quite so bright. To create a template for my wreath placement, just grab anything, a plate, a pot, whatever is the right size to trace for your wreath. I grabbed a bunch of old detail paint brushes. That's what I'll be using to apply the ink. I pick up a little bit of each of the ink colors, mix them together to create just the right green that I'm looking for. Then I can soften it with white and dull that color with the stone gray. I'm just looking for that soft, dusky, eucalyptus-y color, and I think we just got it. Okay. Brush the ink on in some general circle or oval shapes, and remember to use a very, very small amount of this ink. Have fun with it. Randomly place your eucalyptus leaves around that circle template. And remember to vary the shades of the leaves by picking up different amounts of each of the colors. I can use the baby wipes to remove any excess ink or to remove any mistakes that I've made. Later on, I'll use them to clean up the ink from the back of my stamps. Dab over the leaves with the baby wipe, using it to soften the edges, blur them a little bit, create some highlights in the centers.
Building castles out of sand, reaching for the grand.
There's a page in Painterly Florals that has this circle shape lavender wreath. That's what I'm going to use. I'd like to cut it up into pieces so that I can place it according to the sizing of my wreath. Then with the IOD applicator stick, rub the pieces on, overlapping them, and placing them going in one direction around your wreath. I cut up little pieces of the lavender and apply them overlapping until I get a pleasing arrangement. Don't be afraid to use those little violets in there as well. I like these because they kind of have that circular spray kind of going on, so I can begin to then fill in.
That I could be brave. Is there anything good on the radio? Turn it up loud.
For the center of the wreath, I'll use a piece of the Classic Pots transfer. You can personalize it by adding as little or as much lavender as you like.
The shade of a
Finish your frame with paint or stain.
When life is going.
And there you have it, a beautiful soft spring or summer wreath using IOD inks as watercolors and the Painterly Florals Transfer. You can find all the products that I used at our brick and mortar shop in Medina, New York, or on our website at ellenjgoods.com. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more projects like these. So me going in and I'll just clip, I'll just clip. So then okay, so I would stop filming right now.
Let go.